Welcome to CARICOMP Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
Two million people downloaded a VPN in a single month. Not because of a data breach. Not because of a hack. Because the UK turned on its age verification law. Anyone who's ever handed over a government ID just to prove they're old enough to visit a website knows the feeling. That uneasy pause before you upload a scan of your driver's license to a site you've never heard of. That's what millions of people in the UK faced when the Online Safety Act kicked in on July 25, 2025. The law required websites hosting adult content to verify every visitor's age, often through facial scans or uploaded ID documents. And the public response wasn't compliance. It was mass evasion. Over 2 million VPN installs in 1 month. On Reddit, posts about how to bypass age checks jumped from a single thread in May of 2025 to 65 threads by April of 2026. 241 total discussions over that stretch. So the question running through this entire story is simple. When a law's main effect is teaching people to dodge it, is it a law or a lesson? And it wasn't just teenagers looking for workarounds. Privacy-conscious adults made up a huge share of those VPN downloads. People who didn't want to hand their passport or face scan to a website just to prove they're over 18. A senior security researcher at Cyber News put it plainly, as long as these verification methods stay this invasive while bypass tools stay this easy to find, the laws won't achieve what they're designed to do. That's a researcher at a cybersecurity firm saying the quiet part out loud. The compliance model itself is the problem. Now, some lawmakers saw the evasion and decided the answer was to crack down harder. Utah passed a law that holds platforms liable if someone uses a VPN to get around age gates. That same law prohibits platforms from even providing instructions on how to use a VPN. NordVPN, one of the biggest VPN providers in the world, called this an unresolvable compliance paradox. Why? Because comprehensive VPN block lists don't exist. You can't block what you can't catalog. So Utah is essentially telling companies to stop something that no one has figured out how to stop. Meanwhile, Mozilla, the organization behind Firefox, filed a formal warning with UK regulators. Their argument cuts two ways. First, restricting VPN access doesn't push people toward safer behavior. It pushes them toward unregulated offshore VPN services with weaker security. The very tools meant to protect people end up exposing them to worse risks. Second, and this one sticks, Mozilla warned that limiting VPNs for minors would create what they called a two-tier internet. Adults keep their privacy tools. Young people lose access to the same protections that shield them from surveillance and tracking. That's not a hypothetical. That's the structural outcome of the policy as written. And Mozilla backed it up with data. According to their research, only about 7% of children who use VPNs do so to get around age gates. 7%. The vast majority use VPNs for the same reason adults do: privacy and security. So the entire enforcement framework is built around a small fraction of the behavior it claims to target. California is trying a different path. The state's Digital Age Assurance Act takes effect in 2027. Instead of making every website check your ID separately, it requires operating systems to ask your age once, during device setup. The OS then shares an age range with apps. Not your birthday, not your ID, just a range. And it explicitly does not require government identification. Parents enter children's ages at setup, and the system attests from there. One verification, at the device level, instead of friction every time you visit a new site. For anyone who's ever managed identity verification in an investigation, this maps to a principle you already know. A single cryptographic proof beats repeated manual checks every time. The pattern everyone misses is this: heavier compliance burdens don't make people more transparent. They make people more creative. 2 million VPN downloads aren't a sign of lawlessness. They're a market signal that the compliance model is broken. So, a law meant to verify ages online drove 2 million people to hide their identities instead. Stricter enforcement in places like Utah ran into technical walls that don't have solutions yet. And California is betting that the fix isn't more friction per website, but one check, one time, built into the device you already carry. Whether you're building compliance systems or just trying to browse the internet without handing over your passport, the lesson is the same. When the legitimate path feels more invasive than the workaround, people will choose the workaround every time. The full story's in the description if you want the deep dive.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.